Is it time to change trainers?
I would say two reasons why he has no choice, I think, but to change trainers. I think they did a good job with the stoppage. I do. But I know he didn't agree with it. And he said so not only to them, but then he reiterated it publicly right after that. So personally, you know, he has an issue with at least that decision. He might watch the fight and then come to respect that later on, but which I think it was a good stoppage. But yeah, I don't think he liked that. And then on top of that, they don't seem to be able to give him the right strategies in a fight other than go land your right hand. I did just give him credit for the Ortiz move. That might have been them. I'll give them that. But outside of that, I haven't seen anything but guts and power out of Wilder. Length, guts, and power. That's what he is. Last night he showed the same thing. He had a lot of power, had a lot of guts, a lot of length. He just didn't have a strategy at all. So, yeah, no, I think he definitely needs a new trainer. You know, he definitely needs a new trainer.
Who?
Footwork alone. It would have to be somebody who knows how to teach pure boxing. Like Buddy McGirt comes to mind. He knows how to turn a puncher into a boxer. He's done it. But the crazy thing is, the best trainer for him is his opponent's trainer. I think Crunk is where he needs to be because it's something about Emmanuel Stewart's style of fighting, that Lennox Lewis style, that Tyson Fury style, Vladimir Klitschko style.
But would that work against Fury, though?
No, but you'd know how to box. Like, they teach boxing for big guys, long guys. They know, they have the drills, they have the track record for it. That's what they do. They turn out good boxing heavyweights. I mean, just champions, period. But heavyweights, especially long fighters like Gerald McKellar was a longer guy. You had Tommy Hearns is a long guy. Like they train long guys. You know what I mean? And they teach them how to box. So I think that would be a good place for him. He doesn't need to be anywhere where they're teaching slugging. Like he needs a trainer. John David Jackson can teach boxing, I think, pretty well. I mean, you know, you gotta really open it up. There's a lot of good trainers out there, though. Barry, what's his name? Barry Gibson, is that his name?
Barry Hunter.
Barry Hunter, there you go. Out of Baltimore or out of DC. I think he's pretty good.
Were they prepared? Was Team Wilder prepared at all for the Fury that showed up?
They weren't prepared for the first Fury that showed up. No and no. No. I honestly didn't like the fight. I didn't like the fight for Wilder. I liked it for money. Money-wise, like, yeah, go get your money. And I didn't think that Fury would knock him out. I thought he would lose by points, though.
What did you think was the turning point? The punch to the ear and the ear to the back of the head? Because to me, Wilder won the second round.
Yeah. I mean, I think that definitely, his legs hadn't been right since then. So, yeah, that punch to the back of the ear. But again, if he was been focused defensively, he wouldn't have got hit with that punch to the back of the ear. He went, instead of blocking the jab, he tried to walk away from the jab. So instead of just catching it, when you stand and catch a jab and you're catching the jab with your left hand up, you're taking the momentum away from that guy that's coming forward, and you're smothering his right hand at the same time by not giving ground. If anything, you can take like a half step back. But when you totally try to get away from the jab, if you totally move out of the way from the jab and he moves his right foot forward, you're still in range for his right hand. He's still in range for his right hand. So what he did is he walked away from the jab this way, put his hand out and his head down. So it's not like his head was turned and he got punched in the back of the head. He did this, and the overhand right is coming. If you try to block an overhand right, you're blocking with your shield up, right? So if the overhand right was coming and he turns his head, that's where it's going to hit you. That's not an illegal blow. That's why it wasn't called an illegal blow. You turned your head. It's not you turned around and I punched you in the back of the head. That overhand right is coming and you rolled the wrong way. You did the wrong thing. So you got hit in an awkward spot because of it. And unfortunately, it bust his eardrum, you know. He could have easily just did the same thing. Boom.
He doesn't.
Nothing.
You know, I'm one of the biggest Wilder fans ever.
Right.
Defensively,
right,
he lacks basics. And I know that's some shit to say, but certain basic things that fighters do, that professional fighters do when punches are thrown at him, he does not do. I'm gonna just say he does not do. He may know how to do, but I'm not sure.
When you know better, you do better, especially when you're getting your ass kicked. When you could say Floyd was the best shoulder roll guy in the game, or James Toney, whatever, right? Both of those got one thing. Well, James Toney, the only one I know don't really abandon it. He did the Philly shell no matter what. Floyd, whatever you saw Floyd get caught with a clean punch, or he was fighting a puncher, hands up. He put his hands back up. So you can play around like that if you can get away with that, or if you got the ability and you're using your instincts, you want to roll, cool. But if you can't roll and you don't even have that instinct in you, that shouldn't even be in your game. So the fact that he fights with his hand down at his side just shows that his hands are only down at his side because it's comfortable. It's just comfortable. So they're allowing him to be as comfortable as he possibly can. Instead of teaching him the right way, they let him just find his own comfort zone. But that comfort zone doesn't fit his fighting style. Because if you have if just think of your jab as a spear, right? And your right hand is your shield. So you catching jabs with your right hand, you catching hooks with your right hand. You got your shoulder here, and then you got your spear. If you were a lion, where should my spear be? If this is my spear, right, and this is my shield, right?
Should be out.
Where should my spear be when the lions come? Should I put my shield out and let the lion get into my body, or should I put my spear out so that he runs into that on his way in? Keep your spear out.
Yeah.
So when you see a fighter fighting this way,
Spartans and Mohammedans, their style of fighting.
Same thing, real old. But when you see a fighter fighting this way, the only fighters that should be fighting with their crab style or peekaboo or hands close to their face are short fighters, because they're coming in, they need to protect their head on their way in. So that's why their hands are here. This is not a tall man's guard. This is a short man's guard, or what the fuck guard, I got nothing else to do guard. This is not a tall man's guard. Tall man's guard is right here. Hands right down in your face. You can't walk through that. And Fury was able to just walk him down all night, not because of great boxing, but because he didn't have the IQ to even understand to do that. So that's why I say he has to change trainers, because if you know better, you do better. So even if he doesn't like to do it, if he knew to do it and they were saying and pleading with him in the corner, yo, put your hands out. Like, what are you doing? Then I would say, oh, he just not listening. He hard-headed. They were giving him very little. I gotta listen to the corner again, because I don't want to come at the instruction, but they look panicked to me. That's just to me, but there was a lot of people around, so couldn't really listen to what they were saying. So I'll listen again, but they look panicked to me in the corner. They look like they were shocked by the fact that he got hit in the first place. But what's stopping him from getting hit? And all Fury did was what you should do against any puncher: see if they can box, fight them and make them fight going backwards. Triple G can't fight for shit going backwards. Arthur Beterbiev can't fight for shit going backwards. Deontay Wilder can't fight for shit going backwards. That power means nothing when you're taking it that way.
Can he bounce back?
I can't say that anybody can't. Yeah, he can. The unfortunate part of his bounce back is he has to. See, here's the only track I see. He's 34. Like people say he's getting old, even though that's not old anymore in today's boxing, because it's not like he has a long career. He started boxing when he was 19, number one. Number two, he's not like taking beatings in fights. This fight was brutal, but he hasn't been taking a lot of beatings. I think him and Ortiz had a couple of good sluggers, but other than that, he's not taking beatings. He's giving beatings. And, his power is the last thing to leave. So if George Foreman and Bernard Hopkins can fight late in the years, it's up to Deontay to determine how long he wants to fight. But right now, with the landscape of the heavyweight division, he has now to hope that Joshua and Fury happens before he happens, and maybe he gets to swing around and fight Joshua if Joshua actually beats Fury. That's a sensible fight if they make that fight instead of a rematch. If he does the rematch with Fury, that would be bad for him, I think. It would be good money-wise, but where do you go if you lose to Fury again? Where do you go from there? Because everybody's looking at you like, we want to see the champion. Like, if you become like Jersey Joe Walcott. No disrespect to Jersey Joe, that's one of my favorite boxers of all time. But he was like one of those guys that was always around. He got the belt a couple times, but he's one of those guys always around in championship. But, he was that guy, like the GATE. keeper. You know what I mean? That's where Wilder would be at that point, because if Fury were to beat Anthony Joshua and become like the undisputed champ, and you just lost to Fury 3 times, who wants to see Fury Wilder 4 for the championship? Nope, nobody wants to see it. You know what I mean? They don't think that you can do it.
Damn, that's a good point.
Yeah, so if Fury beats Joshua before and you lose to him that 3rd time, you have nowhere to go. You have to hope that you have to wait for Fury to, you know, die, like the corporate ladder. So no offense, no, I don't mean that. You know what I mean? But you know what I mean. It's just that's where you at. What else you gonna do? It's sort of like B.Y. Jennings right now. Like, I'm not coming at his career either. I'm just saying, like, there's not a lot of, he got options coming up because you got Joshua he can fight. You know, you got people that he can fight that we haven't seen, and he's an opponent for those guys. But the way Wilder came up is like he fighting like a Highlander. Like there only could be one, and they've been bubbling up to this point where Fury, Joshua, and Wilder kind of settle the score, and it's becoming, you know, it's getting settled right now. But I do think Wilder does have a shot against a Joshua more so than Fury. But after watching what Fury did to Wilder, if Wilder doesn't change his game, he's exposed. Because, you know, the game plan is like he has a lot of power, but he's a mummy. He can hurt you coming forward. If you try to run from his power, he's gonna catch you on the way out. If you try to stand firm and just block, he's gonna punch straight through it. Don't give him stationary targets and come forward. Make him fight going backwards. Get into his space. He doesn't have an inside game. He's not very heavy. You know, I'm heavier than him right now. So, you know, I'm 237, somewhere in there. So he's not a very heavy dude. You can take him and wrestle him around if you can get into his frame, and he'll let you into his frame because he doesn't know how to stop you from getting in there. So if you're crazy enough to get through the first 2 punches, because he's gonna throw a quick 1-2, some crazy haymakers on your way in. Once you get in that and through those first 2, you're in, and he can't do shit going backwards, and he will give up ground. That's all day. If you watch Layman Brewster when he knocked out was it Lennox? I think it was Lennox Lewis. I'm not sure. I don't want to lie. But Layman Brewster was fighting. It might have been, was it Klitschko? Who did Layman Brewster beat? A taller guy. I don't remember if it was a white guy or not, but
I think it was Vlad.
Might have been Vlad. But he was with Don King at the time. I think he's wearing yellow and black, but I don't really remember the fight. I just remember him getting inside and throwing hooks against a tall guy. I don't remember if it was Lennox or Vlad. I do believe it was Vlad though, because I don't remember if he and Lennox ever fought actually. So yeah, it probably was Vladimir. But anyway, him getting inside just made a hell of a difference, and it's the same. Like, it's the same thing when you get inside with Wilder. He didn't have nothing there, and he'll give up ground. So every time he gives up ground, he's in range for lunging hooks and overhand rights because he's trying to get away from you rather than just crowding you, holding you, or, you know, using his hands to keep you from getting in there in the first place. If he was just peppering with jabs all day, like, you know, it makes it hard for you to walk in. Even if they're not landing, you're not walking forward when somebody's throwing vicious, quick jabs at your face. Like, that's your field. You're keeping your space. And yeah. So I guess that's a long ass answer, but I think you should change trainers, man.
Thanks, Darius. I appreciate it.
Yeah.